Welcome to Creative Drawing Software. This recording will be our quick start guide, and our intention is to help you become familiar with working with this new version and help you start using the software right away. When the application begins, you always see the Welcome tab. This tab gives you easy access to resources and lets you quickly complete common tasks. For instance, you can easily create a new design using just a blank canvas, or you can load any existing designs. Likewise, you can import any artwork for a new design, for example, old embroidery designs or artwork files like photos or vector images. The Designs browser can help you navigate and locate designs or various artwork sources. Click on any design to load it, or on any artwork file to import it into a new design. As you can see, any design you create or open is loaded onto a new tab. So you can easily navigate through the loaded designs just by clicking on the different tabs, while you can always switch back to the Welcome tab. To open any of the recent designs, you can just use this list. Use this slider to change the size of the previous icons or change to Details view. Now, through the Welcome tab, you can also select an embroidery machine and the default hoop. Additionally, you can select a fabric for the design. The fabric selection is crucial because the software automatically optimizes the embroidery according to the fabric type. If you are not particularly familiar with the use of the software, you can refer to the software user guide or view any of the training video tutorials. Now, when a design is loaded, you can see all the designing tools on the tools bar. We will not go into details about the available tools at this point, so I'll just show you the basic routines. When you select a certain design part, you can easily perform modifications through the available toolbars. The design routine is simple. You can easily import artwork into your design through the Import dialog. Select any design part or create a new one using any of the available tools. You can easily transform the selected part using the mouse or using numeric values. You can easily apply any type of fill or outline using the Properties bar to decorate the created object, and you can easily apply colors. For embroidery, you can even watch a simulation of the production. And when you're satisfied with the design you created, you can easily send it to your machine for production. Enjoy creating! In this video, we will show you in brief most of the Workspace components. The Welcome tab was explained in our Quick Start video, so let's explore our Workspace while working on a design. When you take a look at the top of the software window, you can see some drop-down menus. These menus provide access to most of the software options. There are some functions which can only be accessed through these drop-down menus. Looking at the toolbar on top, you can see the most basic functions: New Design, Open Design, import file, print, undo, redo, copy and paste, fabric selection, and some others. Have in mind that the menus and the standard toolbar are context sensitive, which practically means that not all tools and options are visible all the time. They appear only when they can actually be applied. For example, the Align tools appear when multiple objects are selected. When nothing is selected, the Align tools are not visible. So don't be surprised if the toolbars change while you explore the workspace. Now on the left, there is a toolbar which has most of the available tools of the software. Selection tools, edit shape, edit stitches, zoom tools, measure, stitch flow, slow redraw, digitize tools. Insert ready-made shapes, lettering tools, the array tool. Here's also the color manager, machine hoop selection, and the guideline editor. All those tools act like working modes. That is, when you start using any tool, it remains active until you choose another tool or switch to the default selection mode. For example, if you start the text tool, you can keep adding text objects until you select another tool or switch to the selection mode. At the bottom right area, you can see and edit the colors that are currently being used in the design. The created objects can have a fill property and an outline property. On the upper line, you can view the outline colors, and on the lower line, the fill colors. The Sequence Manager provides a graphical representation of the embroidery sequence. It also allows you to take control of the sewing sequence of your design. Next to the Sequence Manager, you will see the Properties bar. This bar consists of two tabs, one for Object Properties and one for Colors. The Colors tab can help you choose colors from many different color palettes. On the Properties tab, you can see and set the properties of any object for both its fill and its outline. For example, if you select this part, you shall see that it has a running stitch outline and a step fill. You can easily change the fill properties if you click on any other stitch type. Let's click on the fill properties and change from step to satin. See how the appearance of the stitching has changed? In this video, we will show you how to easily find and organize your designs with the Design browser. You can find the browser from the Welcome tab, as well as from the Window drop-down menu. The browser opens up a new tab where you can see your hard disks, USB drives, and navigate through your folders. The Design browser is very much like the File browser, which is available on all operating systems. This practically means that you can navigate through your disks and look for the files that you want to use. The main difference is that the Design browser shows you only the files that are supported by the software. Additionally, you can filter the visible designs by artwork, graphics designs, or by embroidery. When you're looking for an image or other artwork file, you can hide all other supported files. Likewise, when looking for embroidery designs, enable only the embroidery. Now, for any of the available icons, the design is selected with a single click, and you can see a preview on the preview area. With a double click, the design is opened onto a new tab. Any design you load appears in a new tab on your screen, and you still have your browser tab handy so that you can easily return to the browser. You can also resize the preview area by dragging its left side. And hide it by clicking on the arrow that appears on the left again. You can also change the size of the preview using this drag bar. Likewise, you can adjust the size of the thumbnail icons. Now, let's talk about the browser's components. On the navigation area, there are 3 sections. In the Favorites section, you can see your favorite locations. Click on any of the listed ones to access the content of your favorite folder. You can easily add any folder to your favorites. Right-click on a folder and use the Add to Favorites option. Additionally, using the Scan Directory option, you can scan for subfolders with supported designs. From the appearing list, select the entries you wish to add. You also have the option to completely scan a hard drive. This doesn't mean that you end up with a list of each and every such folder, rather the top levels which may contain multiple subfolders with designs. If you want to remove a folder from the favorites list, you can do so by selecting the respective option from the right-click menu. This is the Recent section where you can see the latest folders you browsed through. The folders you accessed recently are being automatically added in this list. In the Devices section, you can view the computer's internal storage devices, USB or other memory external devices. Most Windows File Explorer or Max Finder abilities are also included in the embedded browser. So you have standard file management options, copy, paste, create folder, rename folder. Likewise, if you right-click on a design, you can open, copy, paste and rename the design and have other file management options. You also get the option to show the design in Explorer along with other various selection presets. Finally, you can select multiple designs by holding the Control key down for Windows or the Command key for Mac OS, and then click on the designs you want to select. If you hold the Shift key down while clicking on more than one designs, you get to select all those designs at once. The click and drag ability for files or folders is also supported. From the address bar folder path, you can navigate through the folders by clicking on the name of the folder. Type or paste the specific folder path, copy the current folder path or paste any path copied. Move back and forth with the use of the arrow buttons. Finally, you can search for a specific design in the current folder by using the search bar. In this video, we will show you how to convert any image into a paint-stitch design. The procedure is simple. First, use the open icon to locate any image you like. Find the bitmap image you want to convert to a paint-stitch design and open it. A dialog appears showing the selected image and the available conversion options. Use the Open as Paint-Stitch option. You may even click and drag on top of the preview to select just the portion of the image to import. You can move or resize the portion if you are not satisfied by the initial selection, or use this circle icon to reset the dialog. On the lower part of the dialog, you can also change the resolution of the imported image by editing the width, the height, or the DPI values. If any of the imported image dimensions, width or height, is larger than the default backdrop size limit, which is 29.5 centimeters or 11.6 inches, Then the resolution values, width, height and DPI, will be automatically adjusted to match this limit. Change of value and the others are automatically calculated. The image resolution will change proportionally. For the Open as Paint Stitch option, the maximum width or height that you can set is no more than 16.5 centimeters or 6.3 inches. Even if you set a higher value, after clicking the OK button, the software will reduce the larger side of the image to 16.5 centimeters or 6.3 inches. So as you can see, the size was automatically adjusted to the maximum supported size for Paint Stitch. With Paint Stitch option, you can have photorealistic embroidery results with the use of advanced algorithms which are implemented for this purpose. The conversion is automatic, but you can customize the Paint Stitch results from the options that you will find in the Properties toolbar when the design is selected. Additionally, the Stitch Flow tool allows you to select the subject area of the image. During the conversion, the software chooses the colors that will be used for the Paint Stitch design. If you select the subject area, the software will render the subject area more accurately than the image outside the subject area. To do this, click and drag on the design. The overall design will be recalculated based on your Stitch Flow guide. You can increase or decrease the size of the guide by clicking and dragging the handles of the circle, and even delete the guide by clicking on the X that appears at its center. Now, let's have a look at the properties of Paint Stitch. From this drop-down menu, you can select the thread palette that you will use to embroider your Paint Stitch design. Select any palette from this list and it will be immediately applied to the design. Actually, every change you make is immediately applied to the design. Specify the number of colors, as the more colors, the more detailed the result. The maximum number of colors that you can set is 99. When the smoothing option is selected, the randomness of the stitches is reduced and the stitches become smoother. Using blending, you can control how much the colors will blend. By default, a medium amount of blending will be applied on the design's colors. If you select none, no blending will be applied between the design's colors. In that case, the edges between different colors and shapes will not overlap. Using low blending, a small amount of blending will be applied on the design's colors, leading to minimal overlapping between different colors and shapes. Using high blending, a large amount of blending will be applied between the design's colors, thus leading to high overlapping between the different colors and shapes. Finally, using full, the maximum possible amount of blending will be applied between the design's colors. In this video, we will present the Sequence Manager and its functionalities. The Sequence Manager is always on top of the upper right edge of the design area and provides a graphical representation of the design's order and an easy way to change it at will. At this point, you can only see an icon that shows the whole design. And this is because auto function is enabled. When auto function is enabled, the program automatically decides about the sequence of all design objects according to its innate optimization strategy. So you practically leave all control over the sequence to the software, which uses its intelligent mechanisms to find the optimum sewing sequence. You can only specify some optimization preferences to guide the software on how you want the design to be embroidered. This is explained in detail in a separate video. But what if you want to take control over the whole sequence yourself? You can simply disable the automatic optimization by pressing the Auto button on the standard toolbar, and in place of the Auto button you now have one called Manual. So you switched into manual mode, and if you look now at the sequence window, you can see the individual shapes of the design. Now you can click on any icon and drag it to any position you like to create your own sequence. Next to each sequence icon, you can see a numeric value which represents the position of this design part in the embroidery sequence. The objects positioned higher in the sequence manager are those that will be embroidered first. If you click on any icon of the sequence manager, it gets selected and you can spot it inside the design area with a highlighted rectangle around it. You can select multiple items using the Control or Command key and/or the Shift keys. To do so, hold the Shift key pressed down, click on the first icon of the series and then on the last one. All the sequence icons between the ones you clicked are now selected. If you hold the Control key pressed down and click on multiple sequence icons, they get selected too. Using the Control key, you can also remove icons from a selection. If you hold the Control key and click on already selected sequence icons, these icons are deselected. You can also use the Control and Shift keys in combination. That is, if you select a series of sequence icons using the Shift key and then hold the Control key pressed down, you can add other non-sequential icons to the selection or remove selected icons from the selection. If you right-click on any sequence icon when one or more sequence icons are selected, then you also get general selection options. Using Select All, you can select all sequence icons. Using Select None, you can deselect everything. And using Inverse Selection, you can select all other icons except the ones already selected. For designs with too many design parts, it may not be easy to drag the sequence icons to the position you want them to be. In such case, an easier way to move one or more selected sequence icons is to scroll up or down to the direction where you want them to be. Right-click on the sequence icon where you want them positioned, and from the appearing menu, choose Move Before and Move After to position the icons right before or after, accordingly, to where you right-clicked. Additionally, if you select non-sequential icons and right-click on any of the selected icons, you have the option, that is called Join Together, to bring these sequence icons one next to the other. The icons will then be moved next to the icon you right-clicked upon. On the right-click menu, there is also the option to reverse the order of two or more sequence icons. To do so, simply select two or more sequence icons, right-click on top of the selection and use the reverse option. When the sequence is set to manual, one more icon appears on the title bar of the sequence manager. When you see this icon, all the design parts are separate icons. If you click on this icon, then the design parts are grouped by color and the icon changes into this palette icon. This means that all the sequential objects and shapes with the same color are now grouped into one icon. This is a two-state pattern, so by default you see all objects as separate icons, and if you press once, the objects are grouped by color. If you click once again, you switch back to separate icons. The Group by Color function does not group objects or shapes with the same color if they have different fill or outline types. When the sequence icons are grouped by color, then next to each icon you see a series of numeric values. Additionally, you can see the fill and outline colors that are used for each icon. The Sequence Manager can only be resized or minimized and cannot be closed. Notice that if you bring your mouse on the left edge of a sequence window, a double arrow appears and you can click and drag to make sequence icons smaller or larger. Click and drag to the right to make it smaller, or to the left to enlarge it. If you shrink it too much, the sequence numbers and the colors are hidden. To minimize the sequence manager, you have to click on the pointing icon on the header, and to maximize, you need to click again on the same icon, which will now point to the opposite direction. In this video, we will present the Convert Fill to Center Line option. There will be times when you need to create a line object based on the shape of a fill object. The first thing you need to do is to select a fill object. Right-click and from the appearing menu, use the Convert Fill to Center Line option. The selected object is now a line object, as the fill stitches have been removed. The outline type that will be applied on the new line object depends on the width of the initial object. If the width of the initial object is more than 1 mm, then satin serial will be applied. If the width of the initial object is anywhere from 0 to 1 mm, then running outline will be applied. Likewise, you can apply it to text objects and create small text objects with running stitch. This is also an easy way to decorate line objects using any of the available styles. In this video, we will show you how to convert any design into a redwork design. Redwork designs are traditionally created with red running stitches on white fabric. For the software, however, the color of the stitches is not limited to red. So, after creating the initial redwork design, it is possible to edit the color by changing the outline color of the design. It is really easy to convert any design into redwork. Simply select the design or the portion you like, right-click and choose Convert to Redwork. You can also apply this tool from the Convert icon in the horizontal toolbar after selecting a design. As you can see, it is a simple one-step conversion of any design to redwork, thus creating lightweight embroidery designs by keeping only their outlines. As already mentioned, it is possible to edit the color by changing the outline color of the design. It is important to know that every part of the redwork design shall be stitched with the same number of passes. Also, bear in mind that you can easily customize the redwork using different stitch styles.